Today, does 343 Industries still make Halo? Yes, unfortunately. This is CheckPoint. Welcome to CheckPoint.
And here's your starter for 10. In the darkening twilight, I saw a lone star hover gem-like above the bay. This was the last diary entry of which explorer written on the 5th of January, 1922 in South Georgia?
Sir Edmund Hillary?
No, it was Shackleton, and we'll have to take those bonuses after someone gets a question right. This is a story all about Halo. Sort of. We're not going to make jokes about the 10,000 layoffs at Microsoft, including the many layoffs that hit Halo developers 343 Industries. And we're not going to make jokes about how Patrick Wren, a former senior designer at 343 who now works at Respawn, tweeted, "The layoffs at 343 shouldn't have happened, and Halo Infinite should be in a better state. The reason for both of those things is incompetent leadership up top during the Halo Infinite development process that caused massive stress on those working hard to make Halo 5 the best it could be." And we're not going to make fun of another Halo dev who's also working at Respawn saying, "As a Halo fan, I'm really tired of Microsoft business practices and policies slowly killing the thing that I love." No, we're not joking about any of those things, but we are going to joke about the statement that 343 Industries felt compelled to release after a rumor began to spread that those layoffs meant that the Halo franchise was being taken away from them. "Halo and Master Chief are here to stay" begins the shortest corporate statement I've ever read from studio head Pierre Hintz. 343 Industries will continue to develop Halo now and in the future, including epic stories, multiplayer, and more of what makes Halo great. That's it. That's both the sentences. I, as a writer, have some notes. Pierre, first up, you are an adult. Do not use epic as an adjective. And if you must use an adjective there, your sentence structure is weird, because are the stories and the multiplayer epic, or just the stories? Right now it reads like you're saying epic stories and acceptable multiplayer. You need another word to put there, like epic stories, extreme multiplayer, and more of what makes Halo lit, or whatever marketing told you was cool. Secondly, what exactly is more of what makes Halo great? You've got your epic stories and your excellent multiplayer, but that's it. I think those are the only reasons that people play Halo, no matter how many sparkly cosmetics you're trying to add to the battle pass. And mainly, it's just hilarious to me that a company would have to publicly state, "Oh, no, we're still making the games we've been making." Especially when to many fans of the series, it comes across like a threat.
Are you a fan of Donkey Kong? Well, what if Donkey Kong stood on a bridge and thought maybe life would be better for everyone if he had never existed? What would a world without Donkey Kong be like? We'd just be playing video games featuring Popeye the Sailor Man, for one. Nintendo's arcade classic Donkey Kong, seen here existing in 1981 like some sort of relic, was originally conceived to feature Popeye, Bluto, and Olive Oyl as the main characters, according to design documents revealed by Forest of Illusion, a group of Nintendo software historians. It's kind of neat to see how all the major design elements were there from the beginning. The ramps are there, the ladders, the barrels. A distinct lack of spinach, but hey, first drafts, am I right? And up in the corner, a neat little Miyamoto signed in English and Japanese, which backs up the long-standing story that Shigeru Miyamoto really just wanted to make some Popeye games, but Nintendo couldn't get permission for the characters. Sadly, Miyamoto would never realize his dream of making a Popeye game. Until the following year, when King Feature Syndicate clearly realized this Donkey Kong guy was a BFD, and hey, maybe Nintendo could make them some more money off this then 50-year-old property. I guess it worked too, because you can still play both Donkey Kong and Popeye on the Nintendo Switch, except Popeye looks like this, and Donkey Kong looks like this. Truly, it's a wonderful life.
Do you still Wordle? Or have you given up because you're not that much of a word game person? Well, if that's the case, you're not going to care about this story, so take take some personal time. But if you gave up on Wordle, not because you were bored of it, but because it wasn't extreme enough for you, well, I have good news, because Merriam-Webster has inexplicably bought Quordle, which is literally quad Wordle. Yes, someone paid money for a copycat game a full year after the craze started and 10 months after it stopped. But you know what? Someone got paid. Yeah!
The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, is getting a little long in the tooth, and speedrunners are running out of ways to avoid playing all of it. In the most recent stunt, a runner named Player 5 managed 50 consecutive runs in a 24-hour period, putting each run at under 30 minutes each. Player 5 had previously set a world record for Breath of the Wild of 25 minutes and 23 seconds, so they were more than capable of pulling this off. But 50 times in 24 hours? That's a special status. A status I also hold. Listen, when I was in grade 4, grade 5, I beat Super Mario Land twice in a row without turning the system off, meaning I then had access to the level select, and that meant that I could play the final stage over and over and over, beating the game again and again and again until I also managed to beat it 50 times in one day. So welcome to the Fast 50 Club, Player 5. Nice to finally have some company.
Remember last year when there was a massive Neopets data breach? A hacker tried to sell the game's source code and user database, and then everyone had to change their passwords, and that led to a ton of people getting locked out of their accounts permanently because they had signed up under old defunct email addresses in like the early 2000s. It affected over 69 million accounts, but it wasn't all that nice. Well, now one of the affected users is suing Neopets and their owner Jumpstart for negligence and breach of confidence. And they're trying to get the case deemed a class action lawsuit so the other 68,999,999 affected users can sue them too. They're seeking compensation for damages and to force Jumpstart to fix Neopets' numerous security issues. Honestly, before the website was hacked last year, I had no idea Neopets was even still around. But on the bright side, it won't be after this.
I never hung out at Neopets. Was it like some sort of virtual dog park?
It was like a salon for off-brand Pokemon and the latchkey kids who didn't have to study after school.
So it had like cool hairstyles and different outfits?
Yeah, and online bullying.
Oh, some things never change.
Coming up, Reddit user The Elden Child has made an Elden Ring GeoGuessr so you can try and figure out where the heck you've been dropped in the lands between. And if you find it difficult, it's probably just that the game's beautiful panoramas look a bit different when you're not having your whole ass kicked clear across them. Would you like to hear some Shackleton facts?
Yeah, I was surprised that it was Shackleton. I don't know why, because I kept thinking, oh, this is like Horatio Hornblower or like Master and Commander, or like there's some sort of TV thing that seems familiar. I don't know why.
I mean, there's a TV show about Shackleton.
Great. That's probably why.
I'm pretty sure my dad watched it, and or Cameron, maybe both.
Tell me more about Shackleton.
I'll tell you. So Shackleton, in this section I'm calling Fackleton. Fackleton.
FAQ.
Yeah,
Fackleton. Yeah.
Fackleton. So anyhow, you think he's one of those guys who died on an Arctic outflow? Or
I do,
like
actually.
That. He did not. He was only 47 when he died.
I could believe that.
Yeah, he lived a stressful life.
But most guys, I mean, I would think you're 47 and you die by getting eaten by a polar bear or something. But yeah.
No, he. So what happened is he was the captain on a ship, and they had just sailed, but they had finally came to anchor in Greivitkin. So they had actually arrived after 14 days of rough sailing, and they had finally actually settled, 16 days of what he calls turmoil and anxiety. And they had settled down. They were going to have a late Christmas, and everybody was very relieved that they had finally arrived there, and then he died. So this is the extent of his last diary. according to a museum I found online. At last, after 16 days of turmoil and anxiety, on a peaceful and sun-shining day, we came to anchor in Grytviken. How familiar the coast seemed as we passed down. We saw with full interest the places we struggled over after the boat journey. Now we must speed all we can, but the prospect is not too bright, for the labor is scarce. The old smell of dead whale permeates everything. It is a strange and curious place. A wonderful evening. In the darkening twilight, I saw a lone star hover, gem-like, above the bay. See, people always quote that. Like, his last line is definitely quoted. It is the last line of his last diary entry, but nobody mentions the whale smell.
No, it's true, right? It smells like dead whale around here. Oops, I'm dying.
Yeah. He was... people were like, ooh, he don't look so good on the voyage over there. And then, like, after they landed, they're like, he summoned the doctor and then was like, bleh.
When you said he died in South Georgia, I thought it was like in a peach orchard or something.
Yeah.
Not, I was thinking the other Georgia.
Yeah, he was...
South Georgia is actually just Florida.
Yeah, he died at a whaling station. And then they were like, all right, we'll send your body home to Lady Shackleton. And it got a little bit of the way when she's like, nah, just bury him there. He liked it there better.
Yeah, fair.
The scene of his greatest exploits. Also, like...
Wow. So, like, not back at home with his wife.
I mean, I haven't done...
Those were not his greatest exploits, according to her.
No, I haven't done a lot of research into Lady Shackleton, but maybe she was a little annoyed that her husband was never around to help her.
Yeah, I could believe it.
Who knows? Anyhow, that was Shackleton. This was the last diary entry of which explorer? Written on the 5th of January, 1922. 1922! No, why? My brain. Shit.
That was top notch, though.
1922. 1922. I almost did it a third time. 1922.
Except without any tape.
Yep.
1922.
I saw that too.
1922.
Welcome to Checkpoint.
I was thinking 1922. 1922.
If it'll make you feel better, I'll just say 343 industries. With that.
Oh, the whole thing, the only thing I've been thinking for the whole intro is 1922. 1922.
I wish you had just said that. Been like, 1922! Fuck.
Remember last year there was a... Remember Beige? He's still over there.
1922!
Beige, did you really beat a video game 50 times in a row?
I did, actually, yeah. Not only did I beat that... So I beat Super Mario Land 50 times in a row using that exact thing. Not only that, when I was done, because they liked me at the school library, and they're like, oh, you get to play on the computers if you want to, whatever. And I said, can I use the print shop on the one that's actually hooked up to a printer, which is behind the library desk?
Oh.
Yeah, right?
Are
you
mature?
Like, sure, yeah, by all means. So I made myself a certificate in print shop that had like little stars and hearts on it, because hearts were the one-ups in Mario Land. And it proclaimed me a Super Mario Land master. And then I had it at home in a frame it was printed in color, because it was the only place there was a dot matrix color printer, the only one I'd ever seen. And it's like I had that in a little thing for a long time. It's very cute, very, very young me, definitely.
It said I beat Super Mario Land 50 times in a row?
It did, yeah. Wow. Yeah. This is not enough kids, I think. You take pictures of your shit or you put it up on like speedrunning or whatever, but it's like nobody makes print shop certificates for all their exploits anymore. I think that's something we've lost in the modern age.
I should make Penelope a certificate.
Yeah. Make just multiple ones.
I mean, she puts up all her stuff on her walls.
Those are things, I mean, your actual accomplishment is more to be proud of, I'm sure, than the certificate proclaiming. It's like...
I don't know, she'd probably enjoy a colorful certificate.
Yeah,
who wouldn't?
That's true.
I should put up a certificate for me. Didn't give up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turmoil and anxiety, but didn't give up. I didn't die in a fucking whaling station.
Yeah.
No matter how often I wished for it.